25 to the Green Bay Packers, we have Jordan Morgan. So I like the pick a lot, personally. And that's not me being like an asshole as a Bears fan. That's genuinely, I think Jordan Morgan is a good player. While
Love the pick.
I don't think Packers fans are going to love it because for a long time they have developed late round guys into be very, very, very good starters for them. Here's what I will say. At some point, sometimes those players, they just don't churn out like that. And losing David Bakhtiari, do you really want to roll the dice going into the season with Rasheed Walker, who was a seventh round pick? Yes, he was decent. But what happens if he gets hurt? What happens if he just doesn't play like he played last year? Then you have a massive liability on the blind side of your quarterback. Jordan Morgan was a very reliable tackle at Arizona, and taking him at 25 here is a good pick. I was in the Packers subreddit, and they were all upset, whatever. They wanted DeGene, they wanted McKinstry, all these other players. Morgan is a good player for you, and he is a first-round talent. The idea that he's not a first-round talent is wrong. Like, I believe if he was there for the Chiefs, they probably would have taken him instead of Xavier Worthy.
Oh, absolutely. I've been gassing in the last couple weeks here. The more that I watched Arizona's O line, it was just crystal clear. And I'll say this: if you're a Packers fan, here's what you need to go do tonight. Do this, and I promise you, you're going to sleep well. Go cut on the tape of Jordan Morgan one-on-one versus Laiatu Latu. There was only two tackles Laiatu Latu's entire tenure at UCLA that shut him down. The two men were Talise Fuaga and Jordan Morgan. And I mean that seriously. There's the two guys you're going to find that they'd even not just dominated the matchup, but even won or got close to winning the matchup. If you're the Packers and you got one of those two guys, you need to be ecstatic right now. And I need you to remember something, Packers fans. You should know this already. Because you should know this. You've seen it. Games are won and lost in the trenches. You filled out the most important position group with a guy who has an incredibly, incredibly high upside. He moves for a gazelle, like for his size. I'll say, some guys that just for his size, he moves so well. This was a guy who I thought that the Niners would be thinking about replacing Trent Williams with, where this would be a guy I think the Niners would have loved to have, the Chiefs would have loved to have. Packers fans, you got yourself one of my favorite players in the first round. Do not be disappointed about this pick. This is a pick you're going to look back on in a few years and be like, that's our Jordan Love bodyguard. You just can't hate on it early. Don't get you just, it's not sexy like we say, but it was the right decision.
Jordan and Jordan. Yeah, that's something that you touched on that I didn't. His athleticism is really underrated. The way he moves when he's just going out for a block is really smooth. And the thing that I like about Jordan Morgan a lot is like he's a good pass and run blocker. Like it's not like he's like something like Olu Fashanu where he's just like a much better pass blocker than he is run blocker. Like Morgan is good, just an overall very good tackle, and you guys should be very happy with the pick here at 25.
Like I'm not kidding when I say this because it's gonna be one of those things where it's like, oh my, like how could he say that? It's true. Jordan Morgan has just as much potential as any lineman taken today to come out where we look at this class a decade later and be like, wow, he was the best lineman taken. Because with right now with Joel and Fuaga and some of these other guys, it sounds blasphemous, but we know how this goes. If you've been watching the NFL for long enough, sometimes it's just these guys are all really close when it comes to evaluating them and ranking them. And sometimes you undervalue certain traits. You don't know a guy's will to develop and be the best. And if Jordan Morgan has that will and he is one of those guys, we could definitely be looking back on this class 10, 15 years and being like, how did he fall to pick 25? He is one of those guys for sure.